Hey guys, it's Joshua Reviews once again. I'm gonna be a little bit quieter for this review. Okay, so today we have another very special movie we're gonna be covering. We have another Into the Dark movie. For those of you who don't know, Into the Dark is a TV series which was made by Blumhouse and published and it was published on Hulu. And it's a TV, movie, episodic type thing. Each movie is its own thing. Obviously, I reviewed movies like Uncanny Annie. What was the other one? Puka. I've also watched another one, which I haven't reviewed. I think it was called In Crawlers or something like that. It was okay. But one I've been wanting to get to for a while now is The Body. Oh yeah, should be mentioned. Hopefully you guys like my costume. Picked it out specifically for this one. But anyways, The Body. I'm just going to get straight into it. This is the first Into the Dark movie that they made. And ever since I saw the trailer for it, I was hooked. I wanted to watch it. But I never got around to it. The other stuff just came up. Well, finally here now, reviewing it. I finally watched it. How was it? Okay, so basically the movie is, it's this hitman assassin. He's the discount Agent 47. He basically gets a call. He kills a famous celebrity and he needs to dispose of the body at this certain time. So he wraps it in plastic wrap and someone slashes his tires. And we never find out. It's just a hooligan who slashed his tires because he thought that fucking shit was funny. And he has to go to a Halloween party to get a ride from this group of teenagers. And, they think the body at first is fake. They think it's, a costume. And they're like, great costume, dude. Well, it turns out the body is real. And once they find out, people start dying and they got to escape him. And meanwhile, there is a girl who is, the main character is really fascinated by his costume. That's all I'm going to say with that. For now. I'll get into that later. So, right off the bat, interesting concept. Love the concept. I don't think they've made a movie like this. Maybe they have, and I just need to do more research, but love the concept. It's a comedy / horror, and, for some odd reason, I'm not really that keen on horror comedies anymore. Like, they were funny for a while, like Happy Death Day, Freaky. You have your classics like Scary Movie, Tucker and Dale. I consider that a classic. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. And you obviously have Cabin in the Woods, which is like a self-parody of The Final Girls. But I feel like I want more mainstream horror. But this came out in 2017, I believe. So it's given a little leeway. But the comedy in this film was surprisingly well handled. And I actually laughed at a fair amount of the jokes. I believe this is directed by the same guy who did Uncanny Annie, which I really enjoyed. But I need to rewatch that. So maybe my opinion will change when I rewatch it. But yeah, he directed that film and directed this film as well. He wrote this film, but didn't write Uncanny Annie, I believe. And he did a great job writing this film. The film was really interesting. It was very, everything flowed naturally. It was funny. It kept me interested. I wanted to see how it would end. The villain was very well handled, given just right amount of backstory. You love to hate him. He is evil, but at the same time, he's fun to watch as he does the things he does. And the main characters were really engaging to watch. Not for the reason you may think, and I'll get into that in a bit, but everyone played the character straight, and they were really good. A lot of the comedy worked. A lot of the horror moments worked well. There's a scene where a guy is in a morgue, and he's by himself kind of wandering the halls. And I don't know why, I just got a little creeped out. Something about being trapped in a morgue with this assassin trying to get you. It was very creepy and very ominous. I also like the feel of this movie and how it has this Halloween modern day feel. I just liked it. It made me feel like I was, you know, Halloween. Best way I can say it. Okay, so I've talked positively about this film for a while now. Let's get into the things I really didn't like, because the things I didn't really like are a lot. But it all makes sense in the end. Okay, spoiler. Big spoiler, because I didn't know this going in. The main girl is a little bit of a cuckoo. She's a little loony. And she takes a she's very, how should one put it? She is very attracted to our killer. She's like, oh my God, I love the fact that you just have, you know, so much passion in your kills. And, you know, I hate today's society. You know, today's society is a joke. And, you know, I feel like I'm, she's like, oh my God, you feel like you can do anything when you kill people. So she helps him, and he's like, why are you following me? Like, why are you obsessed with me? And she's like, because I like you. You know, like she's obsessed with, to put it simple, she's a loon. She's really obsessed with this killer. And she's the main character of this film. And, you know, it's one thing if you have the main villain be, you know, evil, but you love to hate him. Kind of like Negan. You love to hate him, but then as the series progresses, you really get to see Negan's transformation from this bad dude who only killed people to get a point across and to show power and dominance. And later in the show, he progresses as this very, like, you know, sentimental, you know, very emotional character that you, at the end of the day, come to like, and you start to root for him. That's very well done character development. In this case, the villain's not that. He's just evil, but you love to watch him. The guy who plays him is very great in the role. But the main character, she's not likable. I mean, you don't like hate her, but, you know, you don't like her because she's, you know, she wants her friends to die. She says it earlier in the film. I think she doesn't like her friends, but she's kind of forced to hang out with them. And then when they start dying, she's like, oh, I'm just going to, you know, follow you around and help you kill them. It's like, yay? That's the character I'm rooting for? Cool. Like, I didn't hate watching her on screen. Like, I'll admit, the interactions that she had with the killer were really engaging and very interesting, and did lead to some interesting scenes. Like, I love the part where they're at the bar and they're talking about their fascinations. And, you know, I'm not saying I like the way they're talking about their fascinations and killing people. I'm just emphasizing that, you know, the way they're talking about it is very well acted, very well written, very well shot. It's very interesting to watch, even though you're kind of like, you know, I don't agree with it, but you're like, okay, you know, I see where she's coming from. I don't know if it's supposed to be relatable, but it made me very just like, you know, like I don't really like her, but at the same time, I don't hate watching her on screen. I mean, it left me with this kind of feeling. So maybe that's the movie's goal. I don't know. And the other thing that I really did not like about this film, every character is an idiot. Oh my God. Okay, you know the whole thing with cops in horror movies always showing up and then dying immediately after? The cops, man, in this film are downright stupid. I'm talking the dumbest. The cop literally assumes this dude's drunk after shouting bloody murder, which I'm assuming that's not what cops do. If you hear someone shouting bloody murder, you immediately, you know, are like, oh shit, okay, this is serious, you know, like I gotta, but he immediately assumes this dude's drunk, and then when he goes to them and they're like, oh my God, our friends died, he pulls a gun on them. And I'm like, what? I mean, admittedly, he thinks that, you know, they killed someone, but the reasoning behind his way of thinking and the reason he thinks that and building up to it, you just gotta watch the movie, because I don't want to spoil too much. it's very like, what? That's how you made that conclusion? Okay. Sure, buddy. And, I'm assuming you guys know this because it happens in every horror film. He dies because of his stupidity, but it's not just the cop. The victims, the other characters in the film that are running from the assassin and their friend who's helping him, they're idiots too. They do everything wrong. They immediately think that, oh, just because we're being framed for something we didn't do, that automatically means that we can't go to the police station and, give an eyewitness statement, because okay, I guess we're in spoiler territory. I'll just go ahead and say it. If you're interested, then I'll just go ahead and say I did like the film, but let's continue. So she's framing them to basically get the killer's attention. The killer's like, oh, okay, like he's semi-impressed. And, in our victims here, they know they're being framed, but why do they still continue to run away and do stupid things? Why don't they just go to the cops and just try to explain everything? That would be the first thing I do, because, hey, protection from the killer who's still chasing me, perfect. Protection, get an eyewitness testimony, be calling for backup, it would be the first thing I do. But no, what is the thing they decided to do? They try to get rid of the body, which only leads the main villain and the girl to frame them even more, and it leads to more chaotic shit. None of the things that would happen later in the film would have ever happened if they'd just gone to the cops. And towards the end, it got so ridiculously stupid, like the characters got so ridiculously dumb that I started to get annoyed, and that's when the film kind of started to derail for me. But it finally picked up in like the last 5 minutes of the film, and I was like, okay, it was worth it in the end. Overall, though, despite all that, I did enjoy this film. It was very entertaining. I liked the acting. I thought the characters could have used some more development. They could have been smarter, but overall, solid, entertaining Halloween horror film. I did enjoy it, and I would recommend to go see it because I did have a good time. Just had some faults. So, how would I rate this? I'm gonna give it a B minus. B minus. Seems yeah, it was good. So, stay tuned for the next review because I have a little bit of an announcement.